Hi, hello there, YouTube. It's been a minute. It has been a minute, and I just wanted to say hello and welcome to the summer of Magick. I've been saying that for weeks now because I have dubbed summer 2019 the summer of Magick. I've been writing about it in my newsletter and posting about it on Twitter and Instagram and talking about it over on Patreon and especially my podcast. And for those of you who sometimes cruise by here to ask me, what happened to you? Where did you go? Podcasting happened to me. That's where I went. I have been podcasting. I've been going strong with the Hippie Witch podcast since the spring of 2013. And it is the summer of 2019 right now. I just celebrated my 400th episode over there, and I have amazing things planned for the summer of Magick. I've already been posting some really epic interviews. Joanna, the author of Chocolat, came on the show, and earlier this year I had on Lon Milo Duquette. So many amazing people, but there are more already in the queue that I've already recorded that are going to be coming out. So all summer long is going to be interview, whoopah, interview, whoopah. And we have a musical sponsor. Spirit House Records is sponsoring the podcast for the summer of Magick. So at the end of every episode, there will be a beautiful witchy song because this label is almost exclusively witchy people. It might be all witchy people. It's witchy and it's beautiful. The music is so gorgeous. And then in keeping with the theme of this video, because I just celebrated my 400th episode, I did like a solo podcast where I talked about 10 tips for rocking the summer of Magick, and I will link to that down below. And that's kind of what I want to talk about here today. I want to talk about celebrating every little win in your life, letting yourself enjoy every small success, because big success is made out of like little steps along the way, and rewarding yourself or having a really good friend that you know that you can call that'll be like, oh my God, you'll never believe it just happened. That makes all the difference. It's how we build self-esteem and faith and confidence in our own selves. It's an awesome way to develop trust in your relationships too, because you'll know pretty quick who truly has your back and supports you and who acts all weird when things start going your way, right? Like there are definitely those people that are so there for you when your life sucks, but the minute things start going well, all of a sudden they're MIA, or they just start up with like a new attitude, or they start kind of like nitpicking and poking holes in your awesome good news. So we want to steer away from those people and really connect and find our tribe, the people who are actually going to celebrate our wins with us. So what got me thinking about this is I just reached another milestone today, and this is tiny. You probably won't care about this at all, but to me, it's fun. I just posted my 100th Instagram post. I've posted more than 100, but in a row. I started doing a post a day. I just had the thought one day, like, I wonder what it would be like to post a photo every day. I had not been on Instagram that much. I took a huge break at the end. I would say the second half of 2018, I just didn't post there very often at all. And then at the end of the year, I was bummed because I didn't have our trip to Nashville. I didn't have a beach trip the kid and I took. I didn't have the precious memories of 2018 up on my Instagram account. And I realized I like looking back on my account and scrolling through. It's kind of like an album. I know it's public, but to me, it's like a photo album of my memories from the year. And I like to look back on it sometimes. So when the end of 2018 came, I was like, oh no! So I posted a whole bunch of pictures all at once, and then I kind of sporadically was posting until one day I had that idea, like, I think I'm going to post a photo a day. And because I'm a writer, these photos a day started turning into like a daily microblog, as my friend Molly called it, and it kind of emerged into a different kind of challenge where every single morning around 8 o'clock in the morning, I not only post a photo, but I spend about 15 minutes really fast, doing a little micro blog to go with it, and come to find out people are actually enjoying it and commenting, and we're getting these conversations going. So I'm loving it. I didn't really have an intention in the beginning, I'm going to do this for 100 days. But when I passed 30 days, I was thinking, okay, let's go. Let's see if we can make it to 50. And then I made it to 50 and I was like, okay, cool. Let's go to 75. And then once I hit 75, I'm definitely going to hit 100. And today I hit 100. Actually, I lied. I'm recording this the day before my 100th post because I had to have a little photo shoot to celebrate. So I went to Trader Joe's, and for $3.99, I got my favorite, a bouquet of chamomile. I love the way chamomile looks and smells. It makes me so happy, and it lasts. If you take care of it, if you change the water and you trim the stems every so often, you can make it last for a couple of weeks. And for $3.99, for $4, it just goes on and on and on with the happy, good vibes. So that is how I rewarded myself. And then of course I'm squawking all about it on Instagram to be yahoo, yay me. And then something else that I already shared on Patreon, but I wanted to share with you because it was a really big insight for me this year, and I think it might be helpful for you. I've been writing the same novel series for a decade, basically. Not for a decade, but off and on. I pick it up when I have time, and then I put it back down, and there have been years where I've just worked on my business, and I keep thinking I'm gonna get back to this. This is my dream. This is my goal. But I have to pay my bills and I have to hustle. I'm a biz witch hustler. And that takes a lot of time. And then of course I am the only full-time caretaker of an adult with special needs. So I'm pretty busy. So I go through phases where I'll work on it for a long period of time, and then I notice my business is suffering, so I have to put it down and refocus. And I kind of just got sick of the push-pull back and forth. So almost a year ago, it'll be a year ago in 1 month, on July something, toward the end of July, I launched a private podcast for patrons only called The Witchy Writer's Journey, and I started talking about my journey as a writer, and I had this idea to incorporate my dream into my business. My whole job is to help you create the kick-ass life of your dreams, and I need to walk my talk and start doing that for myself. I post once a month. This podcast goes up at the end of every single month. Once I realized that I was about to complete a whole year of these podcasts, that was coming up pretty quick, I was like, I need to show these people that I can walk my talk. And I think it was a good kind of pressure because I've made a lot of progress since telling that group that I am going to have a submittable manuscript, a manuscript that I can submit to agents and publishers by July 15th, 2019. That is now less than a month away. That is just a few weeks away. And to be honest with you, I don't think I will have a submittable manuscript, but I'm going for it anyway. I definitely have an awesome draft, and I love it, and I'm excited about it. And I think sometimes what do they say? If you shoot for the moon, you just might reach the stars. Or if you shoot for the stars, you just might reach the moon. Whatever. I have found that if I go for a goal, and I'm a goal-oriented person. I like a challenge like that. Even if I don't meet the exact date, it won't be that much longer after that I do finally cross the finish line, after everybody's packed up their lawn chairs and gone home and the sun has set. I'm that person who's hey, I'm crossing the finish line and there's nobody there to cheer me on, but I feel good that I actually did it. But in doing this, I also decided to do Julia Cameron's The Artist Way, this 12-week journey of The Artist Way, which I finished, a couple weeks ago. And something that I learned in doing this journey, and if you're not familiar with it, it's a very famous book called The Artist's Way, and there are two key practices that she insists that you do for all 12 weeks. One is morning pages. You write 3 pages every morning, stream of consciousness on a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be good. It's not about quality. It's just about the habit. It's just about showing up for yourself that way. And then the other, which I personally find more challenging because time is an artist state. Once a week, you go by yourself, you don't bring anybody else with you, and you go to a museum or a local farm or on a pretty hike, something to feed your inner artist. And it's amazing how challenging that can be to make space if you're a really busy person in your schedule, just, like to carve out 3 hours once a week for yourself to do something that isn't like productive, that isn't going to make you money or isn't going to like move your life forward in a way that you can like nerd out on and measure and track. It's a soul thing. It's a self-care thing. It's a self-love thing. And it does inspire your inner artist, which does make it productive, but in a very soft, round, soulful way. So that's the piece that I found the most challenging. But what I learned in doing this, in doing those morning pages in particular, like 3 pages every single morning, which is a practice I've done off and on for like over 2 decades now. I'm very familiar with it, but have you noticed me with the 12-week year and this whole Saturn thing and the full focus planner? If you've been following me for a while, you might notice that 12 weeks seems to be a thing with me, and I didn't even realize till I was halfway through the artist journey. I was like, I did it again. I picked another 12-week challenge, but it's like about 3 months. It seems to be the perfect length, like one season of putting a new habit in place or just going on some kind of self-exploration journey. I find it's like the perfect length of time. So my point, what I'm trying to get to here is that I found in doing this journey that there's a big distinction between process goals and product goals. So product goals are when you're focused on the outcome. And that would be me saying July 15th, 2019, I will have a submittable manuscript of my novel. Process goals are, I will write 2,000 words a day, come hell or high water. I'm amazing at process goals. That's why I love NaNoWriMo. I'm like, 5,000 words a day. I'll do it. I'll find a way. I'll be like, and I'll just crank it out. I have found that doing the daily Instagram post is kind of a process goal. Like some days I do a better job than others. Some posts are more successful than others. Sometimes the, micro blogging, the words just like pour out and I have something of value to say. And other days it's just like, yay, I'm so happy about this, emoji, emoji, emoji. But I show up and the process of it is valuable to me. And I can stick with something like that for a really long time. But when I'm focused on a product goal or an outcome goal, I notice that is when all my neuroses, all my resistance comes to the surface, and all of a sudden it's like pulling teeth. It becomes so challenging and so hard. It brings out my inner perfectionist. My inner freak is like, this is not good enough. I'm never gonna make July 15th. Oh my God. So I have had to play around with this because of this big July. I mean, it's like super highlighted in all my calendars. In my date book, I have little notes, July 15th, July 15th, hello, July 15th. And I was basically torturing myself because I was feeling the pressure of it so much that it was taking all the fun out of the process. So once I had this aha moment about process goals, I was like, I'm still gonna go for that goal, the July 15th goal, but I'm gonna totally give myself a break. I'm just gonna aim for that, and if I hit a little over, that's okay. It's no big deal. Don't freak out. Nobody cares, Joanna. Nobody's like, where's that novel? We've been waiting. It's all just like in my own head. And I switched my focus to process goals, like a commitment of words I like to measure words. I can highlight what I've written for that day and see my word count for the day, and that is a habit I developed doing NaNoWriMo and Camp NaNoWriMo. If you don't know what that is, NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month, and people all over the world in the month of November, the goal is to write a novel in a month, and it's an interesting challenge that I have found suits me perfectly well. And they do something called Camp NaNoWriMo in April, and now they're doing it again in July, and I just really like that. And then there's a little counter at the top of your account where you can put in your word count for the day, and there's just something, speaking of rewarding yourself for small wins, I think putting your word count in for the day and watching those words add up, there's something about that that's really rewarding to me. It feels like a little celebration. So I guess I have two recommendations here for you today. One is celebrate every single win, whether that's buying yourself a $4 bouquet of flowers or letting yourself have an extra little treat like some special dessert that's your absolute favorite, or maybe something I like to do is this is a weird thing I like to do. I make myself food and a bath, and then I set my laptop on the hamper in my bathroom, and I watch either 1 hour of a show or two 30-minute episodes of a show that I'm currently into on Netflix or Amazon Prime, and I find this deeply rewarding. I just sit there paying out in the bathtub, and I don't get to do it that often, but when I do, it's on. It's so much fun. So that's tip number one. Celebrate every single win. And again, that could just be a phone call to your besties, somebody who you know will be like, yay, you're amazing. Good for you, queen or king, witch. And then secondly, if you're having issues with perfectionism or stress, maybe switch your focus from product or outcome goals to process goals and see if that makes a difference in your day. So I hope you liked this. There are so many links down below to the Summer of Magick. If you're watching this in a timely fashion, I have some super bundles where you can get a whole bunch of offerings for a discount. There is a discount code for the Summer Solstice module, the Psycho-Spiritual Wheel of the Year, if that's not a big enough mouthful. And the code that you put in at checkout is Summer Magick, all lowercase, no spaces, and you get $20 off when you put that in at checkout. Again, all those links will be down below, and I'll be popping in here and there this summer. Summer 2019, the Summer of Magick, woohoo! Until we meet again, much love to you. Peace.